Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're your guides for pulling out, those really vital bits of knowledge and maybe some surprising ideas from stacks of sources. Today, we're jumping into a really fascinating text. It's called Foundations of Resilient Leadership. Now, this isn't your typical leadership book. It's known for being, well, pretty pragmatic. Very no nonsense about building real, lasting strength, both for yourself and maybe your team or organization. So, our mission today: pull out two really powerful rules from this text. They might seem simple at first glance, but they kind of challenge the usual thinking. We want to offer a fresh look at what really holds up success in the long run. We're looking for those hidden forces, the things behind genuine resilience, and how you can actually use challenges for growth. Think of it as a shortcut to understanding what supports enduring strength. You might find the real secret isn't always what you can immediately see. So let's dig right in, shall we? First up is leadership rule #19. And it says pretty directly, there is no point in focusing on structure without a foundation to support it. Okay, so on the surface, that sounds like basic common sense, right? Like, obviously you need a foundation. But what's really hiding in there? For leaders who maybe think they've got it all figured out, what's the deeper meaning beyond just, bricks and mortar?
Yeah, that's a great starting point because rule #19 really asks us to look deeper. The thing is, the source defines structure as all that visible stuff. The fancy titles, the big wins, the results you can point to right now, stuff everyone sees, stuff everyone admires. But real strength, whether it's someone's character or a team's dynamic or the whole company culture, it isn't just in that visible structure. Not really.
Yeah.
It's almost entirely in the invisible foundation. And this text argues that the best leaders, they don't just nod at this idea. They actively, patiently build this underlying framework. It's the quiet work, often completely unseen, kind of unglamorous, that has to happen before you can build what the source calls the edifice of success.
The edifice of success. I like that phrase.
Right. And think about what makes up these invisible foundations. It could be psychological safety on a team, that feeling you can speak up, or a really deep culture of trust, shared ethics, maybe a commitment to always be learning, good communication channels, or even just the leader's own solid personal values and integrity, stuff like that. These aren't line items on a spreadsheet, are they? But they're absolutely crucial. So many leaders, though, they rush for those visible results. They focus on optimizing a process or changing the org chart or grabbing market share. And those are all structures, sure. But without that solid bedrock, that invisible foundation, they're surprisingly fragile. The text kind of warns us. A rigid process isn't strong if the people and the culture underneath are weak.
That clicks. It really does. It makes me think of, those huge skyscrapers. We look up and see the glass, the height, the design. Amazing. But underground, there could be like 10, 20 stories of foundation. Insane engineering, massive concrete, pilings driven deep, work that took years before anything was visible above ground. And it's totally out of sight, right? Nobody admiring the view thinks about the tons of concrete holding it up. You couldn't just plonk that beautiful building on shaky ground and hope for the best.
Exactly.
So what you're saying is this patient work of building foundations, it's not just any work, it's identifying and carefully building the right kind of hidden support.
Precisely. And if you connect this back to your own life, your own career, the implications are pretty big. It makes you ask, doesn't it? How often do we, or maybe leaders we see, rush to build the visible part? Chasing the quick win, the pat on the back, the next promotion, without really checking if the ground underneath is solid. We see others with apparent success, the awards, the fast growth, and we try to copy that, the structure. But we don't see the years of foundational effort that made it actually last. This way of leading, it often creates what you could call hollow structures. Looks good, but fragile inside.
So it's more than just stability. It's like anti-fragility, that idea that you don't just withstand pressure, you might actually get stronger from it.
Yes, that's a great way to put it.
And without that deep, unseen resilience, any success is, like you said, fragile. It could crumble at the first real challenge, a bad market, a team blow up, a personal crisis. So the point isn't to ignore the visible goals, but to make sure they have deep roots, roots that let them actually endure.
Exactly right. It's realizing the foundations aren't just step one. They're the constant, active work of building resilience itself.
That's powerful, really sets the stage. But okay, even with the best foundations, life happens, right? Leadership isn't smooth sailing. Curveballs get thrown. Every leader, every person faces times when things just go sideways. And that leads us right into the next key idea. Leadership rule, #55. Rise above the rough week. We've all been there. Definitely. That week where everything feels like a struggle. Conversations are hard, people disagree, the vibe is just off.
Oh, yeah.
The source gets this. It says, this week may have been tough, but you're tougher. Now that sounds nice, but it's more than just a motivational poster, isn't it? It feels like a real call to action. It suggests every single challenge, no matter how annoying, is actually a chance to learn something important, to grow. But what does rise above actually mean in practice? Is it just about snapping back?
That's a really key question. Rule #55 isn't just about toughing it out or bouncing back to where you were before. It's about actively engaging with the difficulty, using it, transforming it, and the crucial step the source points to, deep reflection. Like really taking the time deliberately to think about those difficult conversations, those opinions that clashed with yours, even the emotions that got triggered in you during the week. The source doesn't want a quick glance. It asks, point blank, what did you learn about yourself and others? And that's not just a throwaway line. It's an invitation to really dig deep, turn stress into self-discovery, turn frustration into insight. It's about pulling wisdom out of the discomfort, not just trying to forget it.
Right, because the instinct is often to just move on, isn't it?
Yeah, totally. When things get tough, we want to avoid the pain, find a distraction, maybe blame someone else or the circumstances. Rule #55 says, nope, lean into it. True leadership means having the courage to sit with that discomfort, ask the hard questions about yourself, about the interactions. For instance, did that team fight reveal a deeper issue, like a misalignment in what people value?
Yeah.
Did that awkward conversation show you a blind spot in how you communicate? The idea here isn't just listing what went wrong, it's understanding the dynamics. How did this happen? What was my role? How did I handle it? That level of self-awareness is what turns a setback from just a bad experience into a real stepping stone.
That focus on deep reflection is critical, and the potential lessons the source brings up are so concrete. Very valuable. It's not just vague growth. It's things like maybe you realize perhaps without even noticing at the time how important active listening really is. Not just hearing, but actually getting the concern behind the words or the power of empathy. Trying to see it from their side, even if you totally disagree. Or maybe figuring out assertive communication. How to say what you need to say clearly, but also kindly, especially when things are tense. But here's a part I found really surprising and kind of profound, actually. The source says working with people who aren't on the same page can be both challenging and beautiful.
Ah, yes, that one.
That's a real paradox, isn't it? Challenging, okay, we get that. But beautiful. How?
It is a paradox, but a really insightful one.
It seems to suggest that friction isn't just something to grit your teeth through, but maybe something to even welcome for the richness it brings. I'd really encourage you, listening, to mull that specific idea over. It flips the script on conflict, doesn't it? From avoid at all costs to potentially enriching.
It absolutely does. And the beauty, I think, lies in what comes from that friction, that cognitive diversity. When you engage with people who see the world differently, who have different assumptions, maybe even different values, it forces you to examine your own views. You have to articulate your position better. You have to expand how you see the problem. This friction, if you navigate it well, using the kind of reflection rule #55 talks about, that's often where the sparks happen, where innovation comes from, where stronger solutions are found, where relationships, actually once they're tested like that, can become genuinely deeper, based on real mutual respect. It's hard work, no doubt, because it pushes us way outside our comfort zone. But the result, the better understanding, the more complete solutions that can be, genuinely beautiful.
That makes sense. So it's not just surviving the challenge, but finding the value in it.
Right. And ultimately, rule #55 is driving home that core message. Don't let setbacks define you. Instead, use them as stepping stones to success.
It's about agency, taking control. You decide how you frame those experiences and what you take from them. It's not just about getting through the week. It's about finishing today strong, intentionally setting yourself up for a better week ahead. Because now you're equipped with new insights, a better grasp of what the source calls the intricate dance of human connection.
The intricate dance. Another great phrase.
Yeah. Every tough interaction, every disagreement becomes a lesson in that dance. It makes you more skilled, more nuanced, a better leader, more effective.
Okay, this is where, for me, it gets really interesting. Because these two rules, #19 and #55, they seem powerful on their own, but they feel connected, like they're speaking to each other. How do these ideas, the invisible foundation and rising above a rough week, how do they actually link up? Is it just that a strong foundation helps you handle bad weeks? Or is it deeper, more symbiotic? Oh, it's definitely deeper. Absolutely symbiotic. When you put them together, it becomes really clear.
That strong foundation from Rule #19, it isn't just about keeping the organization stable or having good processes on paper. It's fundamentally about building the resilience, personal, interpersonal, cultural line that you absolutely need to navigate those rough weeks from Rule #55. That patient, proactive work, building your integrity, fostering team trust, setting up good communication, knowing your values, that's exactly what prepares you. It prepares you to absorb the shocks, to learn from the setbacks instead of just being flattened by them. Without that solid foundation inside and out, a really rough week can bring things down. But with it, those challenges actually become chances to reinforce, to grow stronger.
Okay, so the foundation preps you for the storm.
Right. And look at it the other way, too. The insights you get from rising above a rough week, those hard-won lessons about listening, empathy, communicating assertively, understanding that intricate dance, those themselves become foundational elements. They strengthen your leadership core, your personal strength.
Ah, I see.
They aren't just emergency tools you pull out in a crisis.
Yeah.
They're skills and perspectives that, once you learn them through reflection on tough times, become part of your invisible foundation. They make you more adaptable, more understanding, a more resilient leader, a more resilient person. So it's not like you build a foundation once and you're done. It's this continuous process. You refine it, you strengthen it with every challenge you navigate. It's an upward spiral of growth and resilience.
That's a fantastic connection, a continuous feedback loop then.
Exactly.
The stronger your invisible foundation, trust, safety, values, the better you are at learning from the rough patches, leaning into that challenging and beautiful stuff, and then reflecting on and learning from those challenges actually builds up those very foundations,
Precisely.
making you even stronger for the next structure you want to build or the next rough week that inevitably comes along. It means resilience isn't just fixed. It's not just something you have or don't have. It's something we actively cultivate. We build it over time, brick by invisible brick, lesson by hard-won lesson. Wow. What an incredible deep dive into these foundations of resilient leadership. Oh, we've really uncovered today, I think, just how vital building those unseen foundations first truly is. That patient, quiet work that supports everything else, and at the same time, the amazing power of really reflecting on setbacks, learning from them, turning every challenge into a stepping stone. It's not just about getting through it. It's about actively evolving because of it.
Absolutely. And as you go back into your week thinking about all this, we wanted to leave you with maybe one final provocative thought, something to chew on. If your edifice of success, your career, your team's performance, maybe even your personal well-being is truly only as strong as its invisible foundation, what foundational work might you be overlooking right now today? Maybe it's in your team's sense of safety, or revisiting your own core values, or how you approach those difficult conversations. What work needs doing now that will define how resilient you actually are tomorrow?
That is a profound question to carry with us. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive. We really hope you take these insights, apply them consciously, build your foundations with real intention, and rise above whatever challenges come your way with new strength and hopefully new wisdom. Until next time, keep digging deeper, keep learning, and keep building that incredible resilience.